Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome to Scrap Mechanic Live with Light. Been having a little bit of trouble getting all of this set up properly, but I think it should be good to go now. Ish. Due to my streaming setup, we might have some minor issues with the frame rate in the game. So I'm gonna take a look at what I've got running, see what's using up all my resources, see whether or not there's anything that I can stop that'll get us going. Sorry you can't say, hey there, Zap Dragon. Sorry I couldn't stay Roaring Dragon 2. Just here to poke around a bit, see if OBS really is the bane of my existence and this game would run so much better without it. It's entirely possible that OBS really is the root of all my problems. Because I can just feel that this isn't even 30 FPS. It might be 30. It might be okay. I might need to minimize a few more things, but let's just take a walk across here and see what's going down. Yeah, it's still got that OBS effect. Like, this is pre-new engine behavior. Granted, I never tried it on the new engine, so I don't know what new engine behavior is like, but this is pretty much the same as when I would play with it previously. More or less identical, really. But 'tis what it is. And I don't know if the announcement went up properly on YouTube. I mean, some people showed up. So we'll take a seat here, take a look around, wait for everybody to show up. And if they don't, that's okay too. Oh, and it updated enough that I don't look like me anymore. So that's something. Yay, updates. Yay. So how's the hardly anyone that's here doing? 4 people, 4 of you are here. How are y'all doing? Hopefully better than me. My HDMI switcher thing decided that it doesn't like my desktop's audio, so I have to trick it into actually playing the desktop audio by having it play different audio. What a world. Oh, Zapdragon's doing great. Great. First time you've seen Scrap Mechanic, well, maybe we should do something more fun than sit on a chair. Let's see. So many things. So many things. Let's go into Knievel. That sounds like fun. Was there a new update? Depends on how new you're talking. Because there was an update a while ago. Oh, I think it might be just how many of those godforsaken things I had. Because now, just walking around, this is so much cleaner, so much faster. I mean, the FPS is glorious here. Maybe just having so many of those things just laying on the ground was bad. Okay, let's hop on in. But yeah, as far as new updates go, I haven't played since the last major update, which was probably quite a while ago. So yeah, anyone who hasn't seen Scrap Mechanic, because you're here from Isaac, you can build weird contraptions. and miss the ramps that you made to jump with them. This is my ridiculous, weird motorcycle. Yeah, so I will probably end up going back to that one and welding them to a thing on the ground, and it'll probably run like a dream. Okay, I might have my engines a little too high. Oh, so close. Because, yeah, this frame rate is glorious. The bike is a little squeaky, but the frame rate is nice. Hey there, Sugar. You're not too late. We only just started. I'm just driving around on my Knievel bike. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's get off, see what the engines are set at. Yeah, pretty high. Let's knock them back one. Taking your advice with Scrap Mechanic? Of course! I value the opinion of people who are here all the time. And why did my mouse suddenly stop working? Okay. You're here all the time. Shouldn't ignore your wishes. It's been a while since I played, so it'll be nice to just wander around, play with a few things. Check out the new engine, which was not impressive on the level I was just testing before this one. But on here, it's lovely. I still can't drive this thing straight, but that's probably true of all of my inventions, really. Oh, that's still bad. I kind of like what they've done with the tiles, though. They look so much nicer now. Squeaky, squeaky. Bike looks impossible to drive. It's pretty impossible to drive. It's pretty gnarly. But it stays upright, which is more than I can say for many of my other attempts. Oh, Sugar, the previous test was a physics thing. I had tons of timers just sitting on the ground, and the frame rate was nigh on non-existent. Like, it was probably down around 24, 22 frames per second. Like, I know for ordinary things, doing ordinary things is real nice. But speaking of lights, let's put some on here. Let's see where we can fit them. Wobble, 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 wobble. Headlamp. I actually want to see some of the new things because I haven't been in here in a long time. Nice. Small pipes. Windshields. Me and Allshack aren't so good at making bikes. Well, no. And this was the first bike I ever made. Like, there was no time for revisions. There was no time for anything. This was, I need to make a bike that can go up a ramp. And so I did. Okay, so that's a start. And let's paint them. Let's paint it red. Small pipes, windshields, not like that was there before. Hey, it's been a long time since I played this, Sugar. They didn't look like... I haven't played since the new engine was added. Okay. Need to get somewhere interesting. Crank it up. Unimpressive. Need new color. Better. Oh, geez. That was pretty darn low. So, like, just between 3 and 4. Why is there one dislike? Well, there was a bit of humbuggery there at the beginning. Besides, there might be Isaac people who are like, what's this nonsense? Well, that was no good. Backing up. And, for all we know, it's someone who is here for science! And there's no science going on. Well, they missed the Momodora. They want to see me spend 2 hours fighting another boss fight. Do I download stuff from the workshop? Generally not. I mean, someday I might, but to this point, I have not. And apparently, I just bonked right off the edge of that. I think the only workshop downloads I've ever done have been for Isaac, just to see how people did a couple of things. And I generally ended up not using them. Having those exposed flames on a bumpy motorcycle seems dangerous. Minor hazards. The most minor of hazards. Okay, I think I've had enough of this bike. Let's check out something else. Manual transmission car is always fun. Take a nice ride around town. Sounds like something someone with third-degree burns would say. Indeed. I'm sensing a distinct lack of manual transmission car. That's weird. I don't think I have it saved. Well, all I've got are these things. Huh. Is it over there? Is it over there? It could be either one, really. Well, I left it at the top of the mountain, or goodness knows where it could be now. Did it just drive away? I have not saved the car to the lift because I built it way too long ago. Well, at least we got this one. I forgot how hilarious this skeleton was. It's all right, James. Steering on this thing gives you conniptions? Yeah, this thing is terrible without the extra weight. My goodness, is it bad. This thing needs so much more weight. But yeah, given how far the wheels are from the steering, yeah, of course it's going to be terrible. Oink. Looks like a bad Gmod project. Yeah, it has its moments. Why didn't I make this car rear-wheel drive and make normal steering? Because I was an idiot at the time. The game had just come out, and I was like, ooh, I could totally do this thing! And I was like, well, how do I make that? And I'm not a car guy, so I didn't know a whole lot of things about a whole lot of things. I just wanted to make a proof of concept where you can put bearings in a row and it does things. I mean, look how it collides with the body. The whole thing was a terrible idea. But people seemed to love it. I did not expect people to love it. Come on, you could do it. You could do it. You could do it. Sugar, you act like a person who knows things about cars and wants a sports car that's got rear-wheel drive. I have lived with sedans and coupes my entire life, like super cheap automatic transmission soccer mom cars. Like, my knowledge of cars comes from my personal Dodge Shadow and then Plymouth Breeze. Audio isn't working on Beam. I didn't check the audio on Beam. Just a moment. Audio on Beam should be fine, except it doesn't. Let's set that driving and I can check it again. It should be fine. Yeah, like, sure, I trimmed it out like a sports car, but my knowledge of sports cars super low. So I just took basically mediocre knowledge of the cars I had once owned and then put something fancy on top. Like the sort of thing you could do nowadays where you just take the shell off of a car and 3D print yourself a new one. You can make it look like a sports car, but it's not a sports car. Barely any audio in this game. Well, indeed. And I've got it pretty darn low in OBS. Because it's just so annoying in my ears. I don't really want to subject you to these electric engines too much. Just need water and water physics. If you've seen the frame rate we get just putting a bunch of things on the ground, I'd hate to see what we get when you start adding water physics and other sorts of fluid dynamics. Which reminds me, I should have a really quite terrible boat somewhere. Well, that's as good a time as any. Okay, let's see if we can find my really, truly terrible boat. Kerbal Space Program does it fine, but that's in Unity. Yeah, there are a lot of things that can do it just fine. Let's see. Got my carousel. Hovercraft. The waddling Dutchman. A truly ridiculous invention. I don't think I ever actually finished the Dutchman. Oh, geez. Okay. Took a second because that boat is sitting on the ground. Wonder what that... Oh, right. That gets it off the ground. Forgot. Whoa, half a second of delay on beam. Yes. Yes, indeed. WTF is this boat? What are those? They're boots. Best part is that it does in fact hover off the ground. All like Star Wars style, where it's just like, are you sure it's hovering off the ground? Or is that just smoke and mirrors? Oh, we're flipping. There we go. So, quite possibly the derpiest thing I ever built. But I love it. Hey there, Raging Gaming. Welcome to the stream. It's a fantastically terrible invention that I love oh so very much. Joined at the right time. Indeed you did. Indeed you did. So yeah, fantastically weird little boat. I imagine if the boats could turn, I probably could. You must have that boat. Yeah, we need to add that to our lift as well. Come here, you. Okay, so what should we name this boat? Because I want to eventually finish the big one and actually call it the the waddling Dutchman. But yeah. Dirt boat's a decent name. I was hoping for something punnier. Like the waddling Dutchman. Yeah, gotta combine the word boat and boot somehow. Like we could call it the motor boot. Make it all Canadian, eh? Boot. I'm liking the boot. The bootstrapper. Okay, so we got some votes for motor boot and boot. Damn it, Light, I was going to say motor boot. Well, because the Dutchman's the other one. Speed boot. Speed boot or motor boot. Hey there, Wibbity Wobbity. That's a great name. I love your name, Wibbity Wobbity. We might have to go with speed boot just from your clear sensibilities in name selection. Wibbity Woobity. Wibbity Woobity Wibbity Wobbity. I know it's written Wibbity Woobity. Not sure if Wibbity Wobbity would be better. Let's call it the motor boot. Now we can add it anywhere! Yeah, this was another attempt at making a row boot. This one, really terrible. The most truly terrible boat one could ever hope to make. It just slowly pushes itself along. Am I this old that I remember all of these? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. But not necessarily too old, because this is post Minecraft. Never played Scrapping Gang, but there's got to be a better thing to attach to those oars. Well, this was for a boot challenge. Like, we needed to use something that used boots. So you could have just made a boot car. And you can make perfectly good wheels out of boots. But the goal was to make a mode of transportation using the boots. And so me, being the iconoclast that I am, was like, everyone's going to make a boot car. Somebody's going to make a giant boot that uses boots to move. I want to make a boot. And by boot, I mean boat. So, yes, truly, truly terrible boat. Yes, boot treads like a boot tank. Totally works. Boot tires. Totally work. Row boot. And then there's this unfinished gloriousness over here. Lovely boat that's missing a significant portion of it because I read the blueprints wrong. It's got a nice little cabin. Tiny little storeroom. All in all, a fairly nice looking boat. Except that it's missing half of the mast height and the entire bottom part. But other than that, it's a glorious ship. got separate little living quarters down here, little storage under the stairs. One of these, I think, was supposed to go down into the lower decks. Thanks for the host, Pie Guy. Read the blueprint wrong, you know that you download blueprints, right? No, like an actual blueprint from the actual time in which these ships were actually used. Like this is from, oh, this is the way down into the hold. Right. Yeah, like it was an actual blueprint for a real type of ship that would have been used back in the sailing days. That's why it looks so much like a ship and less like a box. I had the measurements. I figured out how many blocks long every little bit was going to be, how tall the masts needed to be relative to the ship, and then I left out like an entire rib section like this. Like something about 8 to 10 blocks wide. Got completely forgot to put it in, misread my own notes. And so if you look at it, it's shorter from stem to stern than it really ought to be. So I'll have to track down those blueprints again if I ever want to finish it, because I don't really know how the bottom part needs to go. Like I can finish the masts, no trouble. It's just down in the hold, I don't know the exact curvature that it should have to do what it needs to do. And I kind of wanted to put like a duck type thing in the front, but couldn't quite get it to work right. So this I'll leave here because I don't expect it to go wandering off. And goodness knows that when we place it on the lift and then we drop it off again, it's going to have some issues. Boom! There go the frames. Hey there, Camstar. Glad you could stop by. Yeah, now I can cut it in half and re-weld it back. I can figure out where the problem was, cut it open, add several lanes of blocks, weld it. It'll be great. From the Depths is a good boat building game. You can make the engines too. Nice. Yeah, we can stretch it like a limo. Whoop! Stretch it right out. But yeah, it's a nice thing. I like how it turned out, and I like how it looks in the new textures. Like, I know there's some talk of how the wood texture isn't as nice, but it's all right. I mean, I don't know if I like the wood per se, but I like the way the colors look on the wood. I like the variety. I like the way it looks with the lights. All in all, real nice. Okay, so we got the waddling Dutchman. We got the motor boot. We got our row boot as well. Let's have a look at something else, shall we? Where should we go next? We don't want to go to Wizard's Tower unless you want to see some really low frame rate. Old wood made better car interiors. Indeed. See if this carousel still works. Like the new textures, they are no longer infinitely long planks. I get it. So the question is, which of these is actually hooked up? It would appear something has gone awry. Okay, so that's that. What are you? And what are you? I'm gonna have to get up there somehow, aren't I? I wish I had a jetpack. Oh, it's not a tower of lag. It's a rather different thing of lag. It's more or less a hemisphere of lag, really. Oh, right. And it's inside the thing, isn't it? Why would I do this to myself? Why would I do this to myself? Okay, let's open her up. Okay, so why would that not work? Is it not strong enough to move this anymore? Have a good one, Zap Dragon. I mean, it's moving. It's moving oh so very slowly. I don't know which red it is. It's not that one. It's not that one. Beam is broken. Oh no. Is it the same sort of broken? Or is it a slightly different broken? So apparently this is too heavy for it to actually spin it anymore. Well, at least we can go round and round this way. Well, that's awfully sad. We can just sit here being all sad in our broken carousel. It's a very pretty carousel, but it's very broken. Just like Beam, apparently. Well, while I spin around on that, let me check in on Beam and see what kind of a jerk it's being. Whether or not it'll just load for me. And it just loads for me. Like, I'm even streaming and it loads perfectly fine for me. That's really strange. Okay, so if this one is terrible, let's check out some of the others. Because I've got several carousels. And one of them was a monstrous failure. Like, a super duper ultra amazing failure. But I don't know if it's this one or a different one. Yeah, this one was pretty spectacular in the failure department. Because, yeah, that post is supposed to be aligned to this. Oh, jeez. I mean, look at these frames I'm getting. Something is colliding in a way this game just does not appreciate. Do not adjust your streams. This is, in fact, the game on collisions. Well, Merry-Go-Round Broke Down is the, it's the song from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's what made the thugs suspicious that there was a tune in the bar because... Was it a bar? Wherever it was, they were suspicious that there were tunes in there because it was a lively tune for a bunch of drunkards. Scrap Mechanic slideshow stream. Yes, indeed, Cartoon Meat. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah, the castle pult. That was pretty bad. So many things in here. Oh, yeah, my biplane. Oh, hello, mouse. Come back to us, mouse. You don't run on batteries. Just work. Oh, and we crashed the game. Good job, game. Good job. Yeah, I think it was still having some issues with the carousel, even when it went into the other thing. And it forgot my settings. Good job. Good job, thing. Good job. Okay, now we're back to normal. Let's try to load that biplane again. Nope, biplane crashes the game forever. Okay. Rest ye well, biplane. I really liked you, but I guess I'll have to make you from scratch. Yeah, and I hope you're not playing a Scrap Mechanic drinking game where you take a drink every time it crashes, because you're going to be under the table in no time. It's a great game. It still has some minor issues in that department. Okay, so we can't do the biplane. What was this first carousel? How did it work? Maybe putting the weighing scale I made on the lift. It's not one piece, though. It's two independent pieces. And when it's two independent pieces, it's not a single thing that you can just put on the lift. Oh, yeah, this one. Especially they fix how bearings give up and glitch out when you put too much weight on it. Yeah, it would be nice, but also a tiny bit unrealistic that you could just put however much at a joint and it'll just work. Zoom out. Up and down we go. Yeah, making different size bearings that were also stronger would be very nice. More realistic, it lets you make metal buses. Indeed, that would be very nice. So yeah, this one is based on my my initial manual transmission car design, and it works a bit better like this than it does as a car. I'm surprised there's so little lag, too. Like, given how much this relies on friction to do what it does and collisions to stay in place, I'm surprised it doesn't lag out like the other one did. Phone's just not connected to the interwebs. Okay. Best of luck getting it to talk. Yeah, mouse. So the scale's in 2 parts. Some assembly required. Yeah, I'm not even sure how you would do the assembling. So I would need to redesign it and then make it into 2 parts that you could easily set properly and then remove a certain part to make it just work. I could theoretically weld it together and then indicate which parts need to be removed. That might work. There is a chance that could work. If you couldn't tell, I really enjoy watching carousels going around and around and around and around. And now that we have better lights, we could actually light this thing up. Because this was made before lights were lights. It was made before the paint gun. So, like, I built it with the future in mind, that we would eventually be able to come back in here and make it nice. Hey there, weird monster. Welcome back. Frederick for life. Round and round and lag spike and round and round. I didn't get any lag spikes. Who got lag spikes? Did you get lag spikes? Are people getting lag spikes and I'm not knowing about it? Am I dropping frames? My wife might be watching something. Oh, jeez. What is your deal? Hey there, postal redneck. How's it going? Didn't catch the Nectar Dancer Amplified stream because your phone wouldn't load it. That seems to be going around. Some things skipped. Gonna have to check out OBS, see if I'm dropping them frames. Check the YouTube stream health indicator. Well, stream health says good, so unlikely that I'm dropping frames. So it might have just been Scrap Mechanic. Yep, 0 dropped frames, so it's just the game if it happened. Watching from the beginning, it's quite laggy. There are certain times where that is 100% true. Like the Carousel 100% laggy. There are certain things where that's just how it is. There were points with the waddling Dutchman. Yeah, super laggy. Okay, so red, orange, this, yeah, should lighten it up a little bit. Yellow, how many lights do we have? We have 5 lights. Let's skip over to green. And then do blue. And then, do we want lilac or do we want a darker purple? Ooh, I like the lilac. We'll keep the lilac. Necrodancer stream last time was terrible on YouTube near the start. Don't know what the issue was. I need to know these things. And yes, this is a carousel. You must have multicolored lights. Can't just have single colored lights. Except in a time when you can't have multicolored lights because they didn't exist yet. Which is when this was made. Notice you're now part of the Illuminati! Well, what else do you call a member of the Illumination? Doko2264. Where do I live? In the Eastern Time Zone. So, yeah, any of y'all across the pond, I'm sorry. Hey. Yeah, and my game isn't necessarily set up the way it's supposed to, so sometimes my mouse isn't where I think it is. Nice blue. How about the lit crew? Really? You just said that out loud? For all of humanity, for all of eternity to see? Okay, now it's being a little laggy. Dial back the speed a little. That's too much. Let's dial it back like this. No, I didn't say it out loud. You did. That is true. I'm the one that made you say it out loud. And yes, Eastern Time Zone in the United States of America. Just give a timestamp on when things cleared up. Yeah, I might want to go back to the VOD and see what it was like, because Necrodancer is one of those games where you need to not be dropping frames and doing weird things. Oh, one of them popped out. That's no good. I'm going to have to hit that with a hammer. Something tells me this is not going to work. Okay, where did I put that door? Actually, this is probably the fastest way of finding the door. Supposing I put in a door. This one might not have had a door. There it is. Okay, so how did it pop out? if it's attached to the bottom. How did you do that? Hey there, Brent. How's it going? Why? What? Okay, so what? So we got a thing going through the wood and continuing up there. Haven't seen matter phasing through matter in quite some time. That's a lovely sound, though. Well, I guess this is the thing through the wood ain't supposed to be. Yeah, that is an accurate assessment. That is not supposed to be able to go through the wooden paneling. So, yeah. That's a fascinating development, eh? Need to find that place again where it made the awesome sound. There it is. Gotta get the right resonance. Okay, I suppose we should go actually fix it now. Oh, it's probably internally spasming wildly right now. All right, we have to go around the outside. Here's hoping this actually fixes it. Slightly less fixed than I was hoping. All right, because this will need to reset itself back all the way down for it to be in line. This was a terrible design to begin with. Why would I design it this way? No, that's not glitch. That's a hole. It is in the proper hole. That part's fine. That up there, perfectly working as intended. This part, probably just need to reset it here. Make a Mark II. Simple as that. Well, I've already made 2 carousels after this one. It could be stuck at the top, but there's nothing doing up there. Because, yes, it is hitting that, making it not really want to fully extend, but the bigger problem is it doesn't really like doing the way I designed it, because it doesn't actually push straight up and down like I originally meant. If you hadn't noticed, this was made when I barely knew the game at all. and barely knew anything about anything, and thus making monstrously terrible creations like this. Didn't really get too much better as time went by. Okay, so we'll leave that as it is. We'll come back later and fix it. Let's see. Is there anything else really fun? I wonder if my catapult actually will load. Because I don't think this one ever made it to the air. Because I wanted to knock down a castle wall with a castle. Like, I wanted to hurl a castle at a wall to knock it down. The episode ended up being a glitch bomb. I think the glitch bomb was the one that ended up replacing this. Here's a tip. Put low-powered thrusters under the deck to minimize pressure and therefore minimize lag. For the Carousel or the waddling Dutchman? Is this a trebuchet? Indeed it is. A spectacularly terrible trebuchet that doesn't work in the slightest. I just love how it looks. Keep in mind, this was also done before the welding tool. So anytime I wanted to do anything to this, I had to test it out, save it, come back, make duplicates. If it doesn't fly, add rockets. Yes, that is an accurate assessment. That's basic Kerbal physics there for you. So I'm going to exit and see if catapult test is in a state where I could actually test it and actually launch it for you so you can see exactly how terrible it is. Okay, so catapult and catapult test are in the same state. So that at least is something. So yeah, we can actually launch this one, and the other one will still be intact, such that I can duplicate the save file, and we'll be good to go. So the big question is, do we remove this part, or do we remove that part? I think we remove the crossbar across the top. Don't you think, everybody? Probably the crossbar across the top. Good point. Oh, right. I have to still be looking at it for it to actually remove. Too far away. There we go. Excuse me? Okay, so something has gone terribly, terribly wrong. Oh, right. There were thrusters in there to make it extra powerful. How about we activate it? That's more like it. Okay. I forgot there were thrusters in the thing because it wasn't heavy enough. Like, it didn't work as metal. There we go. So, yeah. That's what it does. So it's a spectacular failure. It's a lovely machine. I need to get to the button such that it stops flying away. And so, yeah, it flies real nice. Whee, punk, and gets barely farther than the edge of the trebuchet itself. Have a good one, Brent. Thanks for stopping by, seeing my horribly derpy things. And so, yes, we made it a whole, what, 50 feet? With all that force, we managed to throw this measly little castle hardly anywhere at all. And mind you, once again, this was pre-welding. So if I wanted to do anything with all sorts of stuff, I had to tack it to the ground myself. And it was a trebuchet. It was supposed to fling it really far, but I just couldn't generate enough thrust for it to actually fling things and hold on to them long enough that it flings them in the right direction. I know it would have been better just to put rockets in the little castle. Like, little castle full of rocket probably would have done a much better job of being a projectile. See, it's even got a little door for the keep. Oh, yeah, the big thing was not the wall to hit. That was the counterweight to make it hit the wall that I didn't build because it couldn't fling it far enough. Like, I wanted to see how far it could fling it before I built the wall so it would actually hit. Yep, adorable little castle. It's just a shame it didn't soar through the sky. So yeah, interesting little thing. Not a great thing, but it was okay. See if they're... Oh, right, we wanted to look at the scale. Here's hoping it still works. And doesn't crash my game. Okay, it is still a thing. So the big problem is that this is not attached to the rest of it. And that's only a minor problem because, I mean, a couple of blocks and it'll be attached again. Without too much fuss. So we might be able to rejigger this thing into something that can go in the workshop. Is this thing that made you find my channel? Yeah, I went around measuring some things. It was pretty fun. It's still a nice thing. It still does its job. And so you can have this much stone on this side and this much chair on the other and go, hey, they weigh the same amount. Brilliant. Giving up on naming your worlds logically. Kawaii potato, iguana blindfolds, koala meat. It does help in finding things later, though. So I'm thinking we should be able to take this bar off, plop it down, and then drop a couple of blocks in the middle and weld it onto the side of this, and it should be good to go. I think the biggest problem is that this is attached to the ground. Is there a way of detaching something from the ground? Like if we pull out our lift. Oh, geez. That is not what I wanted. So if we pull out our lift, we can't just grab it from the ground. Hey there, weird monster on beam. How's the delay? So does anyone have any ideas on how we could detach this thing from the ground? Literally 2 seconds. That's actually pretty slow for beam. You're supposed to get sub-second delay. So yeah, this is attached to the ground. So if I want to add this to the workshop, I think I need either a way to detach it from the ground or to rebuild it. Like, I think it might be possible to detach it from the ground. But it's not going to be pretty. Exo names their worlds New World. Oh, so very creative. Ugh, it's 1:48 in the night. Ooh, go to sleep. Time zones are terrible. Please make a triple beam balance, and you can't detach it. Oh, you sad, silly person. You just had to issue the challenge, didn't you? Had to issue the challenge. What are you doing, Ducky? Oh, less than a second, but the stream is glitching out. Yeah, it's got some issues. But it does, like, when it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it's weird. Make floor above the floor you made and delete the one below it. What do you think I'm doing? I'm connecting all the bits such that I can then delete the bits that are stuck. Okay, you come over here. Scale. Crossbar. Say. Oh, yeah, because if you don't enough to stream it right at that speed, you do need the, what am I doing? I'm not supposed to be building, I'm supposed to be deleting! Okay. Goodbye, Floor. You are glorious, but currently unnecessary. We will rebuild you. It's like no FPS and it sounded like the noise it makes when a computer crashes. Ooh. What did that poor Floor ever do to you? It got the thing stuck to the ground. I can't share it with anybody if it's stuck to the ground. I'll build it again. I really like it. Oh, it's better now. Okay. Oops, I missed. Doo-ba-doo-doo, doo-ba-doo-doo. Okay, here's hoping It still works after this. Okay. Feels a bit sorry for making me destroy the floor. Come on, things are ephemeral. Not everything gets to be what it is forever. And I'm just going to put the floor right back. Because it still needs a floor. There we go. Wait a minute. What just happened? What in the world just happened? What? I say again, what? Um, uh, okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 1. Everything's fine. Nothing went horribly, horribly awry. Everything's fine. We'll just build this floor. Everything will be normal. And if it's not, then... Oh my, I just realized I have to press running in the background. The stream is smooth as butter now. Yeah, it chews up a lot of CPU. Why did I not torture the last block? Because I didn't see the message in time, and I'm not a cruel and sadistic person. Hey there, Mustafa999. I can't read that, so if you'd stick to English, that would be great. And there we go. So next up are the nice tile blocks. Come on. Hello? Nice tile blocks, I say. And tile. And this is not where that goes. And there we go. Nice floor. You're going to slowly murder this one too? Oh, that all depends on how well it decides to work. Hey, they're back. This will lag soon? Oh, come on. I mean, I've still got beautifully smooth frames on the game itself. The stream is running at 30 FPS, but in the game window itself. Pug, I am well aware. Anybody that comes in here and says a random thing in a random language, it's not polite. We don't need to react to it as if it's bad. But yes, we are well aware that it was not a polite thing that was said. And he can say that as much as he likes. Oh, I get it. So it works well, it gets to survive, constantly under the stress of having to work. But if it doesn't, it's brutally murdered. It's not murder. See, it's been reincarnated. Oh, and we probably need to move this over a bit too. Goodbye, tiles. We're going to shift you over a little bit. You'll be right back. Don't worry. We just need a bit more stone. 3 more stone. Hey there, J-Dog. You just came in. I am working on revising my scale such that it could eventually be added to the workshop. And someone came in and said something rude in Arabic. It happens. Cold-blooded killer, run while you can! Okay, so we push the button. Good. Unpush. Good. Now the trick is going to be getting that onto this or just rebuilding it. Probably just going to rebuild it. Feel really awkward in the chat because since you're the only one on Beam, entire chat is just your messages. Be right back. Okay, see you in a second, weird monster. So yeah, we're probably going to want to rebuild this onto here. But first, let's put it back on the lift. Why are you lifting it from there? Why does it think they're over there? What is wrong with you? I just want to put little feet. Okay. Build it 2 above the ground? Oh, I'm not worried about the lifting it high. The part that I'm concerned about is that when I put it down, those bits are over there. That's what has me concerned. Why do they think they're over here? Brent likes to exploit this glitch. Lovely. I don't want it to be happening, because if I put it in the shop, like if I go in here, that's what it's doing. People are going to look in the shop and you're like, what is going on? I have not tried rebuilding it yet because, well, I'm a little bit tempted. Try restarting the game, that always works. Yeah. Don't do it if it involves more floor murders, though. No, just cute little monster duck murders, because you got the regular ducks here, and you got the weird Chthonian ducks up there. Reset bearings. That's probably the simplest call, but it's gonna... Well, it'll detach from those. And then I have to reprogram the thing. It's not purely visual, because if you look in here, it thinks they're over there. Granted, once you take it off the lift, sure, they snap back into place. Like so. But who knows what that's going to do when you've got something like that on it. What do the sparks do in Beam? They let you purchase something or other. I don't really know. But yeah, we know it's a bearing glitch. It's just, can we fix the bearing glitch without having to reprogram all of our controllers? I mean, sure, we can reprogram our controllers and get that working. It'll be annoying to try to get it to do exactly what we want. But it's more annoying that they're not behaving properly. So let's see. Try placing down bearings on the creation. Okay. Put some bearings here. Put some bearings on the other side. And then we pick it up. And we put it down. And it's still doing the same thing. We'll take it off. Okay, we'll remove these. And we'll try it while it's on the lift. So we take that off, take that off. We'll put it on the lift. And we'll place a bearing here. And we'll place a bearing there. Yes, the problem is if I break the bearing that's glitching, it will detach the entire thing from the controllers, and I have to reprogram the controllers. I am certain that will work. I just don't want to have to reprogram the bearings, but I guess that's what we're going to have to do. Because it's being a jerk. Your dad is trying to revive 70s slang. Which 70s slang in particular? Jinkies? Groovy? I don't know 70s slang, sorry. Exit the world and re-enter it. Good with that. Okay, so we've got a thing. We drop it on there, and it's still over there. Let's exit it while we are using the lift. So it should come crashing down. And they were out of place, but when we pick it up, still a problem. It's Irish stuff. So the business, which means good, 6 times, which means I don't believe you, and the blues, which is bad. Ah. Like, is it in Irish? Like, I don't know any of those words in Irish, though. But yeah, at this point, I'm probably going to break the bearing. Ah, Dad grew up there and lived until he was 38. Nice. So we could break this piece here, and the rest would stay with the remote control glitch if that hasn't been fixed. So if we break this pipe here, it'll keep those two intact. But I don't know if they'll stay intact when we weld it back on. So we would only have to reprogram the one bearing. Maybe. I don't know how the controllers will react to the remote control glitch. At this point, I kind of want to just delete them and reprogram the whole kit and caboodle. Well, let's just do one and see how it reacts. Okay. And then, which way does it face? Just straight down from here. That's not the one I want. We need a way to get up there. Brilliant. And we're too close to it. Great. And I can't see which way the thing is facing. That should be better. Now it's facing the correct direction. Great. And those did not stay attached. $180 and $90. Oh, right, you're still on the lift, aren't you? Well, that's clearly not right. Brilliant. Now for the rest of you. Wrong way. Did everyone in the chat die? No, they're in rapt attention trying to see whether or not this will in fact work. It's all about the intensity. Or it disconnected from YouTube. Or it's everyone's bedtime. Okay, so this is number 1. Let's detach number 1 and make that the new number 4. And we swap that one. Come in here. 90. 180. 90. It's only 8 there. Can place things where the bearings would normally be. Okay. So this guy should be fine. Let's delete that. Delete this. Delete that. Delete this. For some reason, you keep failing to send messages. Oh, no! Let's pop up a little bit. Now, these I don't mind reattaching myself. Yep, you can totally put things where that other stuff is. Because the duckies, they're just duckies. This duck faces this way. This duck faces this way. And the other ducks fell off. Good job, ducks. Good job. Okay, so let's move this guy out of here. Okay, so you're saying get this one 2 off the ground, eh? And then we should be able to use the lift to put the other one inside of it? I think that's what y'all were saying. Should probably not break this while underneath of it. Okay, double check everything's good. And it's pushing the wrong way. Of course. That's what I get for making them all blue. Got 4 Curse of the Lost in a row. Ugh. Shift Q to rotate objects backwards. Well, if I remembered which way was forwards, that would help a whole lot. But I generally don't remember which way it is, so I just hit it an extra time. Okay. Cthulhu Ducks active. So we pick this up, put it down, save it. Scale. Base. This must suck for me. What must suck for who? I get to play around? People are hanging out? I mean, it was an annoying little bug, but... Oh. What? Okay. Some sort of weird quantum entanglement going on here. Could you lay in a way that I can grab the part I need? Okay. There we go. And they're attached to this, attached to that. That's attached to that, which is still good, 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 good. When playing Isaac, do I try every run or restart a lot? It depends on whether or not I'm reprogramming it. It was fine. I didn't want to do it, but it's fine. When I'm trying to get a particular unlock, I'll restart a bit. But that's only if I'm really pushing for something in particular. Most times I'll just play because I like playing, and even if it gives me a garbage run, it's still a fun game. Could you smacks with a hammer? Yep, that's the way we work around here. Mindless violence towards inanimate objects. Okay, so let's try that again. And let's see. Okay, this is going to be problematic. We need to uncenter it. And even then, it might have some troubles. Yeah, that's probably the better way to go. So, how are we going to weld it on, though? Pretty sure this is going to be problematic is your most used phrase at this point. I would not doubt it one bit. Why did I not put this on a bearing? Because the bearings weren't sensitive enough. They would lock on very lightweight things. J-Dog, create content also, and soon you'll do gaming. Awesome. What kind of content you make? I think the best thing for us is going to be to bring like this. And then paint it red. Because I can't get to the top with the welder nearly as easily as I can get to this. And then this. Boom. And there we are. So we don't need this to be as tall as it is. So let's take off the last little foot because it only needs to be one off the ground for lag reduction purposes. Now I notice how the paint tool changes color. That is pretty cool. Does help you remember a bit better than previous. And there it is. That feeling of rebellion when you get a bowl of popcorn without your mother's permission. Perhaps you shouldn't be doing things that make you laugh maniacally. Which is a bit ironic coming from me, given the number of things that I laugh maniacally about. Light scale saved. Kaboom. And it's even got a test weight on it, so you know that it works right. Okay, so we brace it. We break it. And we release it. And it's brilliant! So can we all download that now? Not just yet. I haven't actually shared it because we need descriptive text so people actually know to break those red blocks to make it work. So triple beam now? Now, right now, real life vids, and when I have a screen recorder of some sort, he'll do gaming. Cool. Vloggy type things. Had a weird glitch when I loaded into a world and the paint tool was colored purple when I logged off, but it still painted things white. Oops. Triple beam. Everybody wants triple beam balances. Why do you want triple beam balances? There's a perfectly good balance right here. Granted, it doesn't automatically balance and you have to have weird Cthulhu ducks, but... Anyone watching on Twitch? Well, the overlay says no. The overlay says there is no one watching on Twitch, and that's okay. And we have 7 minutes. Do you think I could make a triple beam balance in 7 minutes? I don't think I can. So I'm going to come over here and ride on this thing. If I can get onto it. I wonder how it works. All right. Button for additional lift. First thing for staying pretty level. Yeah, have to do some off-camera documentation. Exactly. We've seen enough of the Isaac documentation to know that I cannot just upload this as it is. I do not want my scale to be the Isaac documentation of the scrap mechanic world. Just make 3 single beam balances. Totally. Going up. So we get a nice view. Except it's facing the wrong way. Can't get a good view of it if it's facing the wrong way. And it's not attached anymore, so I can't use that. So let's just make a new one. Brilliant. Balance my balances. Make an even bigger balance to see if my balances weigh the same as my balances. Levitating platform perfectly still without glitches. That's good. Going up. Do I work another job? This is not a job. I just do this for fun. I have a full-time job during the day. That's a nice view. Little bit of bounce going on. It was more of a floating wooden box, though. It's okay. This one's all metal and clunky and scratched. We need to go higher. Higher. That's good. Seem to be drifting a little that way. Listing a little bit to the left. So we got a few more minutes to talk. I'm probably not going to do anything more in the game, really. Yeah, I miss the character speed and debug stats. It is kind of nice. What do I do as my job? Mechanic of sorts by chance? No. I'm a programmer. I'm a web programmer. Tomb Raider, make a rocket ship. I've got 3 minutes. 3 minutes, I tells ya. I mean, I'm on a rocket ship. All it needs is a nose. And maybe a little more upward thrust. And now we're getting some serious leftward list. And not the good kind. Down we go. Kabonk. Okay, rocket ship, you say. Let's make the quickest rocket ship man has ever seen. Okay, so every rocket needs thrusters. Every rocket ship needs paneling and metal. So... okay. Good start, good start, good start. Good start. Okay. Every good rocket needs fins. Okay, needs a little more nose going on. Nose, nose. Looking good, looking good. Looking good, looking good. Now, all we need is a fuse. Give it a bit of thrust. And now, once we get this button where we want it, we'll have the best rocket ship ever. Brilliant. Now all we need is a nose cone. You're quite right about the nose cone. Can't have a rocket without a nose cone. Yeah, this way's probably good. Oh, we're out of time. Our rocket's incomplete. Dash of color. Just to annoy everyone else's OCD that weren't upset by the fins. And now, we're out of time, so we have to do liftoff in 3, 2, 1. Oh no, it's heading for our scale! It's coming for us! Oh no! It wants revenge for the floor! Before it gets too far away. So I hope you enjoyed the stream. I do need to get going. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with the scales, with all of the random derpy trebuchets and rockets. It's a fun game for doing fun things. If you get too serious with it, it drags you down a bit. Because, well, it is how it is. Stream lags as soon as I said 1. Oh, jeez. So I'm going to go. I have a Isaac episode that I need to be working on. should have it up and ready for the morning. But I will see you in the next episode or stream of Scrap Mechanic or Isaac or goodness knows what with light.